This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Joe Cordina here in Saudi Arabia. Joe, good to see you. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. Apart from that long old flight yesterday, I'm good.
How are you judging the time difference? Because even though, say, if you go to America, they're whether it be 5 hours or 8 hours on the far side behind, people seem to adjust better than when they come here.
Do you know what? It's not that bad because I come to the Middle East quite a lot. I'm in Dubai or Doha or here, and yeah, I don't find there much of a difference. I can go to bed late, I can get up early. It don't really matter to me. But I did get up 2 o'clock in the morning our time to get to the Heathrow airport to fly at 8 o'clock. Then got in last night and then stayed awake till 2, half 1, 2 in the morning.
Wait, so have you travelled from Cardiff this morning then?
So yeah, yesterday. Yesterday morning to Heathrow. My flight was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got in last night.
Rather you than me, mate. I didn't fancy that journey.
And then I stayed up till half 1, 2. I was in the bar with a couple of the boys. And
with regards to yesterday, just start off with the fights here. Usyk Fury 2, a 10-minute face-off, Joe. Do you read anything into that? And obviously, the end of it became a bit more fiery.
No, I don't. Not too much. But it's it just keeps building to be it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a better one than the first one, and that was great. And I think it adds to the build-up. Do you understand? So yeah, for instance, did you ever hear the story of Fury when he was in the sauna with Klitschko?
Yeah.
And I ain't getting out until you get out. It's one of them scenarios.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of bravado, isn't it? And it's who's got the biggest set of balls and this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's good. It's all, like I said, it all plays in part and parcel with the builder.
As a fighter yourself, do you look at what Tyson tries to do in terms of mind games and everything, and do you feel like he becomes frustrated that he can't seem to get into the mind of Alexander Usyk?
From an outside, yeah, it does look like that, but genuinely, I don't think he cares, but he wants to try. I think he wants to try and get in his head, and it's for some reason he can't. But what you got to remember is Usyk have been around for years and years. Was the best amateur, one of the best amateurs to ever do it. He was winning everything and then turned pro and then have won everything as a pro. So he's come across a lot of people that have obviously tried to get in his head, tried to upset him, and no one have been able to do that. So, but I think Fury do get to him, but not as much as we would expect. And he does keeps it calm, Usyk.
You've said you expect the second fight to be better than the first fight, so what do you expect to see unfold tomorrow night?
I reckon Fury, and this is what I believe he should do. Well, it's like telling him how to suck eggs, isn't it? He's a fighter. He's been he's been a world champion numerous of times. He won every title it is. But I think he should use his size like he did in the second Wilder fight. Use his size, his physical strength, and lean all over him, tire him out. But he has to be smart in getting close, and because obviously he's not going to just sit there and let him bully him. He's going to move his. He's got one of the best footworks in boxing, Usyk. So he has to be smart with it. But I think him carrying them tactics and Usyk fighting him off and boxing around him, and Fury trying to press him, I think it'll set up to be an unbelievable scrap. It'll be a great fight, I think.
You've got a campmate in Moses Itauma,
yeah,
returning tomorrow night against Davison McKean. What do you make of this test, and do you feel like people aren't taking the challenge of Davison McKean seriously enough? Not within the camp, I mean, just like fans in general and the wider public, because they see Moses as the future, they see him as the king in years to come.
Yeah, listen, he is what he is. He's a great fighter. He's very talented, one of the most natural talented fighters I've seen in a long time. Like I'll be in the gym and I just watch him on the pads or spar, and everything comes natural to him. So he's a special fighter, and he will become a world champion. That's no doubt about that. But this time, this moment in time, I think he should, like, he can't overlook Dempsey. That's all I'm trying to say. He can't overlook Dempsey because Dempsey can box as well. He's not the biggest of punchers, so his record says, but he can clearly punch. He's a big heavyweight, and he's got to be smart. He's got to be careful, and he can't take him too lightly. And Dempsey was a former stablemate of mine also, so I got a lot of love for Dempsey. He's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. So yeah, I just hope both of them come out healthy, and it makes to be a good fight.
I imagine you've probably seen Moses more recently do a few rounds with different sparring partners, but have you ever spoken to Mr. Lawrence Okolie about the rounds they shared back when Moses was a 15-year-old?
Nah, I haven't actually. But now you mentioned it, I might. I will ask him. But yeah, nah, I haven't mentioned it to him. But I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall because I know Okolie's awkward. But then you
hear how that sparring went.
Then you got a young, hungry guy like Moses wanting to prove something, and yeah, from what I'm hearing, he certainly did. So yeah, it's sparring anyway. And listen, I've been filled in a few times in sparring. It don't really necessarily mean anything. You have good days, you have bad days, but listen, Moses Ituama is the real deal and will be a world champion, no doubt about that. But at this present moment, he just got to keep chipping away at the challenges in front of him and keep working hard, and I'm sure he'll become a world champion. I'd put money on it.
I think that's a safe bet to make there, Joe. Just onto the theme of yourself. It was a bit of a surprise when the Shakur Stevenson and Zepeda fight fell through that your name wasn't put back into the hat. Because obviously you two were scheduled to fight each other in October. You pulled out for injury. What can you tell me about that? Was the conversations at all? Was you as frustrated as what I imagine you would have been?
Yeah, when obviously it fell through, I thought, right, it's going to get rescheduled now. So I thought, lovely. But then I see him setting another fight up with Schofield. But all I can say to that is that we are meant to. He called me out in what's it called? And like what he'll probably, if he do see this and whatever, he'll probably say, oh, he keeps mentioning my name. No, don't mention it. The thing is, you've mentioned my name first when I won my first world title. So I said, no problem, let me have my break after my fight and we'll sort it. Then he's making another fight. Then he couldn't make the weight, so he moved up. Okay, I have paths I'm going to cross at this present moment, in time, and especially that was at that time. But now I'm at lightweight. Something we were meant to fight. So it was all done. He got an injury, okay, that can't be helped. But if we were meant to fight, it'd be easiest thing to just reschedule. My pace was done, your pace was done. So clearly there's a reason. I've spoke to a few people. They're saying he don't want it. Then there's a couple of people saying he's a shithouse, and me included. I just think he don't want to risk anything. He don't want to risk that big fight with Tank. And listen, like I'm not trying to badmouth him. I'm a fan of his. I'm a boxing fan first and foremost. But back then when he called me out, like, okay, no problem. I just want to punch him. I want to fight. I want to fight him. Not just because he called me out, because I want to challenge myself against the best. And I do believe he's one of the top 5 best fighters on the planet. But we have to fight because it's being talked about too much now. So yeah, hopefully we can get it on in the future. But I was frustrated at the time when I found out that he's fighting Schofield. Like, don't get me wrong, Schofield's a good fighter. He haven't proved anything yet because he hasn't been a world champion. He hasn't won any sort of title. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say if he's gonna even give him any sort of challenges.
Do you think, Joe, that obviously there was a period a few months back where, you know, I included was asking Eddie and Frank Smith about the relationship, about the promotional status, and then you'd respond as well, and not over the top, but there was a few back and forth, shall we say. Do you think that might maybe hindered trying to make the fight, that maybe things got twisted or were not put out in the way that they were meant to be?
Potentially. I did go up to Matchroom's offices and I'd sat down with Frank So we managed to air quite a bit on the table, put it out on the table, and I left there smiling. So did Frank. So yeah, we sorted what we needed to sort out. I'm clear in where I'm at. So yeah, it's yeah. We left it good. And then I've spoke to Eddie since. I spoke to Eddie at the Galal and Edwards card. So I was chatting to him there. So it was mad because he was like, "Oh, make sure your phone's on because you might have a phone call in a minute." 5 minutes later, I sits down in my seat. I had a phone call. Right, it looks like you're having a fight, and then I'm absolutely buzzing. I ain't telling anyone because I'm just waiting to hear back. So the next day, then obviously the fight with Schofield gets announced, but which was a bit of a kick in the balls, but it's done. But yeah, like going back to that, we left it on good terms.
So when you sat down, you had somebody else, a part of your team, called you to say there was interest, or did somebody from Matchroom say that there was chance?
Eddie said to me, "Be on the phone." So then Spencer rang me. Was like, "Listen, it looks like you're gonna have the fight." So yeah, we'll see.
For this February date,
yeah,
this is.
Yeah. But then Eddie said, Joey said, "I don't think he wants to fight you." And they were his words. So yeah, I'm just yes. I just don't think he wants to risk anything. Like I haven't seen him fight one of them big names yet. Like a Tank, and the Tank obviously wants to fight him. Like Ryan Garcia was wanting to fight him. He's at a different weight now, but then you're all them top sort of 3 or 4 guys, the big names. He don't want to fight. It seems like.
From the way that you look at this entire situation now, then you believe that he's just avoiding you for those reasons.
Not
that
just
he's waiting for a big name, i.e. a Tank.
That's what I believe.
Have you personally reached out to Shakur?
Yeah.
Go on, Joey. I know you're reaching for it. You're there like.
I did. I just said, like, what's going on? We letting leather fly or what?
Yeah.
And I went on there and he started typing and then stopped typing, then started typing, then stopped typing, then I didn't hear nothing from him. So, but he reached out when he injured his hand, apologising and whatever else, but that can't be helped. And he was like, "We're going to get it on one day." And I said, "I hope so. It's theirs somewhere." And I hope so. But then obviously that, and I just, we're gonna level fly or what? And yeah, nothing back. So
away from all things Shakur, obviously earlier on you said you're waiting for news to come out as to your ring return. So what can you tell me then? Where do you see the next fight and this next chapter in your career taking you?
Well, there was a few people upstairs earlier, and I was speaking to Spencer. So Spencer said to me, he got some news for me. So he said, "We'll wait till it's a bit quiet. I'll catch you later on." So we'll mention it. I'll speak to him later, and then hopefully have an idea of what's happening.
Obviously 2024 hasn't been the best of years for yourself. Obviously you have the Kakachi fight, and then you was due to fight Shakur. Obviously that gets pulled, and now you're trying to get back active. So what's the plan for 2025? Outside of names, I imagine activity is going to be key for you in this final charge of your career.
Yeah, I want to be active, which I haven't been in the last 3-4 years, which obviously you had the lockdown, but no fault of my own. I've always wanted to fight. Unless I'm injured, I've always wanted to fight. I'm always in the gym, so I don't understand why I haven't been. So yeah, it's just one of them things. It can't be helped. I am where I am now, and I've just got to move forward. Obviously, the beginning of the year wasn't too clever for me. My first loss, really down to weight, but that's behind me now. So now I'm at the weight that I feel comfortable at, and yeah, we're looking to move on.
How have you found settling in at the Ben Davison gym, obviously working with Barry, Lee and Ben?
Yeah, it's a good environment to be in. There's a lot of good fighters there. Um, Congo's on the other night. Got Congo. You got Campbell Hatton. You got the McCormacks. You got Leeward. You've got Moses. You've got Big Jamie. Myself. Who else is there? I'm missing a couple.
There's always a couple. It's a busy gym.
Yeah, it's a busy gym. There's so many fighters coming in and out. There's always talent in and around the gym. So yeah, it's a good environment to be in.
I'm interested to get your thoughts. I saw earlier that Wood Kakachi's been reported again. What would you make of a new campmate in yours, Lee's chances against Anthony Kakachi?
Yeah, as long as he's smart, I think he'll do well. It's not an easy fight for both, but yeah, it's a good fight, like I said, for both fighters.
A couple of final things just to end on. Firstly, obviously AJ was looking at that Dubois rematch. We know we're not going to get that next. Do you think it's been the wise move on his behalf to take a bit of extra time out instead of jumping immediately into that?
I don't know. I think I don't know. Everyone's different, isn't they? Everyone's different. I would have wanted to get straight back in, like I wanted to get straight back into a fight. After I lost, I wanted to go straight back in there, and really with Kakachi, but I was up a weight, and I did say to him in the change rooms, "Let's do it at lightweight," and he was like, "Yeah, no problem." But obviously, things get chucked about very easily in the heat of a moment. So yeah, you can't really take much notice of it. But yeah, he got a defence and whatever else. So we just wait. But I'm sure he's going to move up sometime soon. And then we could potentially get it on again.
Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. What's your thoughts on that one?
It's a hard fight. Joseph Parker's on a good run. He can fight. He's been a world champion. He's experienced. Daniel Dubois is obviously, he is what he is. He's an animal, isn't he? He's a beast. Good fighter. So yeah, I want to see that.
If you had to put your final pound on it?
I'm on the fence. I got splinters. Obviously, after his last win, you would have to lean to Daniel Dubois. But listen, Joseph Parker's been around. He's been in with the biggest punches, and he's beat some very good guys. And he's been a world champion. I'm sure it was at like the age of 23. So he's been a world champion. He's very experienced. So I think he's more than capable of beating Daniel Dubois. But just off his last performance, you would have to go Daniel Dubois.
Obviously, headlining that card, you have Beterbiev Bivol's rematch. Repeat or revenge?
Revenge. I think he knows what he needs to do now, and I think Bivol. I think it'll be. A lot of people thought he won. I didn't. I personally, I didn't. I thought maybe 1 round to Beterbiev, but I think it'll be a comfortable win for Bivol this time around.
I'm going to squeeze one more from you in your new weight class. Dennis Berinchyk and Keyshawn Davis. Is this for time now for Keyshawn, or?
Yeah, talented fighter, very good fighter. I remember watching him in the amateurs. Obviously, I was pro then, but obviously I always to keep an eye on the amateurs, and obviously a lot of my friends were in the Olympics, and I was watching him then, and I knew he was special back then. And he was the first time I seen him was when he beat a guy who I beat a couple of times, Sofiane Omiya, who's a very good amateur. I think he's 2-time Olympic gold, or 3-time Olympic medalist, 3-time world champion. He's a very good fighter, and he stopped him. And I thought, okay, this kid's good. Caught him with a good shot, and I thought, this kid's good. And then I watched him throughout, and very good fighter. And if that fight, is it confirmed?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
It's confirmed. I think Keyshawn beat him. So it's not easy though, but I think Keyshawn beat him.
Joe, I appreciate your time. I know a queue's forming for you now, so thanks for speaking to me. And enjoy the rest of your time here in Riyadh. Obviously,
Cheers,
have a
bro.
good Christmas as well.
Thank you, mate.